If you feel like your business should be further ahead by now, this video might explain why it isn't. You might feel like you're doing the right things, you're working yourself to the bone, and just not getting the results you want. And that might be because of one of these 5 common mistakes that I see. Hi, I'm Abby Johnson, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development. I've worked with business owners in over 40 industries, and these are the 5 most common mistakes I see in my clients, almost in every single client. And make sure you stick around to the end because number 5 might be a hard pill to swallow, but it's one you definitely need to know about. Mistake number 1 is underpricing. Now, of course, this may be obvious. This is the biggest bang for your buck. If you're looking to make more revenue, make more profit, this is an obvious place to look and usually one of the first places I look with my clients. It's so obvious I could have left it off this list, but I left it on because a lot of times I will ask the person first, how do you feel about your pricing? And they'll usually have some feelings. Well, we're priced pretty competitively, or there's no way we could raise our prices, or something along those lines. Most of the time, people feel good about their pricing. But once I dig into the numbers, I usually find out that it's not actually profitable pricing. So this could be that there's a misunderstanding in the pricing. Some people don't understand the difference between margin and markup. I had that happen with one of my clients, and he had lost about $80,000 throughout the year because he thought he was charging a certain margin and it was not the correct margin that he was charging. The other thing that can happen with pricing that I see a lot is my clients usually have big hearts. They want to be fair, which is totally fine, but they end up not charging what they need to charge just because they're trying to be nice or give someone a deal, but then it ends up hurting them. Eventually, maybe the business even closes and then they can't help anyone, all because they didn't want to charge what they actually needed to charge. And then the other thing I see with pricing is people just comparing themselves to their competition and saying, oh, well, I'm the same price as this person, or I'm higher than this person, without taking an actual look at their own numbers and what they need to be charging for their business to be profitable. If you want to deep dive on your pricing and make sure it's profitable, check out our video called Nail Your Pricing. The next mistake I see is holding on to the wrong employee for too long. And I say wrong employee because the business owner usually knows that they are the wrong employee. They know that this person is underperforming, chronically late, chronically causing problems of some sort, but the business owner isn't doing anything about it. This can come from a few different places. Usually what I find most commonly is the business owner doesn't want to have to deal with replacing them. So they hang on to this person who's sucking the life out of the business just so that they can avoid the pain of going through the hiring process, the pain of possibly not having that person for a few weeks. But listen, the damage that person is doing, especially if you know that they're doing damage, is a lot larger than the damage that would be done or the pain that you would feel by going through the firing process. I know it's not fun, and having to retrain and rehire someone and possibly having a hole. You need to get rid of that person now. Even if you need to cover their work for a little bit, they're doing more harm than good at this point. So if you have a person like that, you need to cut them loose right away because they could be literally sucking your business dry. I had a client where he had doubled his business while working with me. And then all of a sudden he had this huge crash, and it perfectly correlated with a new hire. That new hire had been there for a couple months, and it was finally showing up in the numbers that this was not the right person. His business was down by 40% because of this one incorrect person that needed to go. So don't lose out on revenue and profit just to not have to face the scary things or the hard things. The next mistake that I see is not having a clear vision or clear path forward. People tend to get stuck in just the everyday and kind of staying afloat and trying to put out today's fires without thinking about the future. This usually lets all of these mistakes I'm talking about fall through the cracks because the owner is too focused on the now and not able or not willing to look at the future and plan for it. For example, if you are growing and growing, you just signed on a big account, you know you're going to need to hire soon, but you're not taking the steps needed to prepare prepare for that hire or to start hiring, then that's a problem, right? So one of your jobs as the owner, as the CEO, is to be planning ahead and catching these things before they happen. You also need to have a vision so that you can present that to your team. That is part of a hiring and retention strategy for employees. Everyone complains about hiring and retention and all that stuff, but a big factor can be the vision of the company. If you have a vision of where the business is going, you can sell that vision to employees, and that's how you can get them excited about it and want to stick around. So there's the practical side of this of you need to actually pay attention to what you need to do to move your business forward. And then there's the kind of flashy part of this, which is selling your business to your employees to keep them on board, keep them excited, and keep them engaged. The next mistake I see, this is so common, is having shiny object syndrome. So this is jumping around from strategy to strategy, from software to software, coaching program to coaching program, whatever it is, and not sticking to one thing long enough to actually see it through and see if it works. Or trying to do so many things at once that you can't get the full result of one strategy or one item. I see this a lot in terms of trends or softwares where someone will buy this HR software and then this one and then this one, and then they haven't really tried one to see if it works. And then the time it takes to move to a new platform is a waste of time and money. And then they might have the subscription still there being charged to them for all of the platforms, and there's a waste of money there. Or with marketing, trying to do TikTok, Facebook, Google, Instagram, YouTube, trying to do it all at once, and then not being able to commit fully to one platform, and therefore not getting the results that you actually could be getting if you just focused on one. Focus on TikTok first. If you're having success on TikTok, nail that down first and see what works, and then move to Instagram, because what works on Instagram, it is different than what works on TikTok. So nail one platform down before you move to the next one. But really, when it comes to shiny object syndrome, what I see is just creative business owners, which is so great that they have creative ideas, trying everything at once and trying every idea that comes to them as it happens, when you need to stick to one strategy at a time and see it through in order to achieve the full potential of that strategy or that idea. And maybe that idea or strategy fails. That's fine. Then you can move on to the next one. But you really got to stay focused and not be trying to spread yourself even thinner and do a million things at one time. And finally, mistake number 5 is ignoring the finances of the business. And what I mean by this is most people are checking their bank accounts to see if they can make payroll or see if they can pay a bill or whatever it may be. But most of the people I talk to don't actually know their numbers, first of all. They don't know how much revenue they made. They don't know their profit margins. And sometimes it's because they don't want to know. It's scary. They know it's bad, so they would rather just not look at it at all. Believe me, I have done this myself in other areas of my life where it's much easier to just not look at something than actually confront it. So even if you are in a bad position right now, the first step is to confront it and understand it, and then you can actually do something about it. And then let's say you're killing it right now. It's even more reason to understand your numbers and what is working. And if you know your numbers and you know your finances, you can catch things as they happen, not a year later when your accountant points it out to you. So an example of this is I'm obviously very on top of our finances here at Matterhorn, and there are times that I catch mischarges, companies charging us more than they were supposed to, and it's because I'm looking at the numbers and I'm on top of it. But you're not going to know if that subscription was never canceled or if that vendor overcharged you or anything like that if you're not actually looking at the charges and what's happening in your bank accounts. The other part of this that I've seen is successful people have their accountant or someone, a CFO or whatever it may be. Yes, you might need a CFO, but someone take complete control of the finances. They don't know anything that's happening. That person handles all bill pay. They just want to put their head down and do their work, and someone else does the numbers. So first of all, this is bad because you need to know the numbers. Like I was just saying, this is how you're going to know what's working, what's not working, what needs to be caught, and all of that. But the other side of this is how embezzlement happens. I have have seen this happen, unfortunately. So it's fine to delegate the finances to someone and have them handling your bill pay or your AR or whatever it may be. But you also need to be looking at the numbers and understanding what's going on with them so you can make sure that your money is being managed properly and in the way that you want it to be managed. Now, I am a profit first professional, and this is something I do with my clients, is diving deep into their financials so that they have an understanding of where their money is going. I'm not managing the money for you. I'm just educating you and setting up a system with you to put you in control of your finances. And with that being said, if you are a six-figure business owner, we can help you add $50K to your bottom line in 6 months. Just click below to book a call to find out how we can do that. And I highly suggest you check out our Profit First playlist next. That's going to show you a better understanding of your finances and a system that can actually work for you without you needing an accounting degree to understand your own finances. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.